Maroon. 224, 4, number 3, running back, free safety. Simmons, number 2, quarterback. Marquise, 25, wide receiver, and cornerback. Gabriel Daisy, number 28, receiver, and quarterback. Carl Blitz, number 80, receiver, and cornerback. Darian Thompson, number 19, wide receiver. Jonathan Paris, number 11, running back. Kerry Davis, 24, running back, defensive tackle. Julian Jackson, 79, guard, defensive tackle. Nick Martin, number 53, guard, middle linebacker. Mark Allen, 52, guard, defensive end. Ely Dillon, 51, offensive line. Isaiah Callahan, 66, offensive and defensive line. Levi Vasquez, 57, offensive and defensive line. Dorito, 40, Lauren Hunter, 55, offensive and defensive line. Jalen Sales, 77, guard, defensive tackle. Jason Wilson, 56, offensive and defensive line. Tony Green, 58, offensive and defensive line. Alex Green, 82, slot, outside. Nate Brown, number 10, running back, number 9.
Hey, you got me now?
6,
Okay. I will not touch anything else. Okay. As much level as you can give me on the return, please. Okay. And Matt President back with you from George Wythe, getting set for this one. Fans have filed in. They're on their feet. And Matt President back with you from Pendleton Field here at George Wythe High School, getting you set for this matchup between two 5-1 teams. And that coach's interview with Mark Dixon a moment ago was brought to you by Ant Beach Restaurant. And at Bees, they have 5 locations to serve you in Galax, Hillsville, and Independenceville in Virginia, as well as Mount Airy and Pilot Mountain in North Carolina. Aunt Bees has been in business for 33 years and has delicious home-cooked meals, daily specials, famous breakfast served all day, which includes mouth-watering hickory smoked barbecue, fresh catfish tenders, hamburger steak plates. They also have catering service. Call Aunt Bees for milkshakes, sundaes, and more. Aunt Bees, made to order fast. Captains meeting at midfield as we speak. Galax dressed in their visiting all-white uniforms with maroon lettering and trim. And out at the center of the field are the captains from either side. George Wythe in their home gray uniforms with maroon helmets, white socks, and trim with numbers in maroon outlined in white. Keys to the game as given to me by head coach Mark Dixon a little bit earlier today. They're pretty simple. He wants to make sure that George Wythe tonight becomes one-dimensional. He wants to make sure that they are limited in the running game and forced to throw the ball. He has tremendous respect for this offensive line of George Wythe. He says that they're a lot bigger than a year ago, a lot stronger, and he really feels like that is a challenge up front in the running game. So if he can force them to throw the ball and make Cole Simmons beat them through the air, he feels as though they have a pretty good chance to win. In terms of the injury report, not a whole lot to tell you about today. That's always good news when everyone is back and healthy. That includes Colby Barnes, the junior linebacker, who we'll also see on offense at tight end. He is back. He was the lone injury a week ago in the 52-0 victory over Fort Chiswell, and he is back here today. All of that brought to you by Twin County Regional Healthcare. They go the extra mile in providing excellent cardiac rehabilitation care. Cardiac rehabilitation is a medically supervised program designed to help patients recover quickly after a severe cardiac event. The goal is to help patients return to an optimal quality of life with improved heart health. To find out more information, call Director Karen Burris at 276-236-1763. That's 276-236-1763. When we come back on the pregame show, we'll tell you about the opponent here tonight. George Wythe, they're off to a very good start this season and atop the conference standings. More on the Maroons when we come back as we count you down to kickoff here tonight on the Maroon Tide Sports Network.
Maroons will defer to the second half. For safety for the Maroon Tide, number 5, Zach Johnson. Number 21, Tristan Pepra. Set to kick off for the Maroons, number 11, Yanni Capranos.
Almost time for the start of today's game. As the Maroons have won the toss, they've elected to defer, and they will kick it off from right to left. So Galax will get the ball first. Back to receive for the Maroon side is Zach Johnson. He's there with Tristan Pecron. Yanni Capranos has the ball teed up on his own 40. The kick is away, side spiraling, and bounces in front of Johnson at the 10. He'll scoop it up, running up the middle, now angling to the near side across the 20, out to the 25. Has some room, sheds a tackler across the 30, out to midfield. Still on his feet, and he's tripped up from behind into Maroon's territory across the 40 and down to the 37-yard line. Big return by Zach Johnson, and we talked about it with Coach Dixon on the pregame show. So much of the success in the 52-0 victory last week for Galax came from the fact that they had excellent field position, and they get it here on a great return by Zach Johnson of 53 yards. So Cole Pickett, the junior quarterback, leads the offense out on the field, has Denver Brown, the senior tailback, behind him. Ball spotted on the near hash at the 43, and the give is to Brown straight up the middle, has a ton of running room. Green grass ahead, and he's going to go all the way for a touchdown. And on the very first play from scrimmage, from the 37-yard line, it's Denver Brown taking it the distance, and Galax is already up 6-0. Denver Brown, who rushed for 200 yards of offense last week on the ground, wastes no time getting into the end zone again, a gaping hole right up the middle. And Denver Brown with his 7th rushing touchdown of the season. Here's the extra point. It is up, and it is good from Eduardo Ortiz. And Galax, a couple of explosive plays early. A kickoff return across the 40 and down to the 37, and then one play later, Denver Brown taking it the distance. About as great a start as you can ask for the Maroon Tide. As they get a kickoff and a big run, and now lead it 7-0. Just 17 seconds in. So now the defense will go to work.
Set kickoff for the Maroon Tide, number 12, JVR Gallardo.
Javier Gallardo has the ball teed up. He will kick from left to right.
Number 5,
Dason McMillan back to receive. Ravon Wells also back there. Both of them standing just inside their own 10-yard line. Here's the run up and the boot. High end over end towards the far side of the field. McMillan will take it, and he will run towards the near side. They fake the pitch, and McMillan still has it across the 15, out to the 20, has a lane across the 30, and he spun down from behind almost to the 40-yard line. So a good return there from Dason McMillan. On the season, he has not been the primary kickoff return guy. It's primarily been Ravon Wells and Ben Jolly, but McMillan with a good return gets it out to the 38-yard line. We talked about that big front five, a lot of veterans up front. 4 seniors across the offensive line for George Wythe, who comes in 5-1 on the season, 2-0 in conference play. Here's the snap to Cole Simmons, the senior quarterback looking to throw. Fires it deep down the far sideline, and the ball is tipped up and knocked out of play. That was Cole Pickett, his opposite quarterback, getting over there in coverage and breaking up the pass, which was deep down the far sideline into Galax territory and was intended for Braden Thompson. It's incomplete, and that brings up 2nd down and 10 from the Maroons' 38-yard line. 7-0 Galax. They needed just one play offensively to get on the board. A 37-yard touchdown run from Denver Brown and a point after from Eduardo Ortiz. Now Simmons stepping up in the pocket, looking to run, and across the 45 slides forward to about the 46-yard line. That's a pickup of about 8 on 2nd down. It'll bring up 3rd and 2. So the ball spotted now at the 46-yard line. Jude Rangelsberger checks into the formation, 2 wide to either side. Simmons in shotgun, has Wells to his right. Simmons looking to throw, fires it out quickly near side. That is Rangelsberger, has enough for a 1st down into Maroon Tide territory and down to the 45-yard line. And that will move the chains. So after taking a shot on 1st down, Simmons scrambles to pick up 8 on 2nd down, setting up the 3rd and manageable. And now the Maroons able to move the chains, and they're into Galax territory. 10:45 to go here in the opening quarter. 7-0 Maroon Tide on top. Ball spotted at the near hash on the 45-yard line with Simmons in shotgun. The senior quarterback takes the snap, and the give is to Wells running right. Actually, Simmons kept it that time on the read option, and he spun down behind the line of scrimmage. Lost a yard or two. He spotted back at the 47-yard line. And that will bring up 2nd down and 12. Regelsberger checks back into the formation. Luchali comes off the field. 3 wide out to the far side, 1 to the near. Ball spotted at the center of the field, right on top of the GW George Wythe logo. Simmons rolling right, fires it out into the flat. That's Regelsberger with the catch. Spins out of 1 tackle right at the line of scrimmage and is able to get a couple of yards out to about the 42-yard line.
Simmons pass complete to number 4, Jude Regelsberger.
So that will set up 3rd and medium long. It's 3rd and 8 as they spot it at the far hash. 9:41 first quarter. 7-0 Maroon Tide on top. Luke Jolly checks in. He split out to the far side, trips wide. Simmons now steps under center. Actually, that's the up man. Simmons in shotgun. He takes, looking to throw, fires it deep down the near side of the field, and the pass is overthrown, incomplete. He was targeting Tavon Dillison along the near sideline. Tillison got turned around a little bit, and in coverage on the play was Santana Sawyers as the ball fell out of play, incomplete. And that brings up 4th down and 8, and the punt team out onto the field. Simmons, the quarterback, doubles as the punter for this George Wythe offense. And he stands back 12 yards from center. The Gunners, 3 of them split out to the near side of the field. Simmons takes, gets the punt away, high end over end. Back to receive on the play is Johnson. He'll let it bounce it about the 15, and it's down there by Regelsberger, and that's where the Maroon Tide will take over. They gave up 1 first down, but then they were able to pick up the stop defensively, and they will go back to work on offense as it took them just 1 play to get into the end zone, their first time out. A Denver Brown 37-yard touchdown run after a sensational kickoff return started things from Zach Johnson. And now Cole Pickett back out onto the field. Pickett this season, 64 of 113, a 57% completion rate, approaching the 1,000-yard mark. 18 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's in the pistol. He takes and he gives to Brown up the middle. Met this time just across the line of scrimmage, plunges forward for about 2 or 3, straight up the middle. And Brown with each of the first 2 touches in the game offensively. Denver Brown again coming off that 200-yard rushing performance in the game against Fort Chiswell, which included a 79-yard touchdown run to open up the game in the 3rd quarter. Simmons, or rather Pickett, now in shotgun, 2 wide to either side. He's looking to throw, fires it out over the middle of the field. Catch is made by Johnson. He's across the 25 and out towards the 30. Stopped on the play just shy of the 30-yard line, but that's enough to move the chains. A first down for the Maroon Tide.
Number 53, Nick Martin.
Pickett wants to go quickly now, barking out the play, turning to each side, flexing towards his helmet, and now backs up into shotgun. He takes the snap, dropping to throw, fires it deep down the near side of the field, looking for Johnson, turned around, he's battling the forward position, and he tumbles to the ground. Pass falls incomplete, and that will set up 2nd down and 10. Pickett put a ton of air under that one, and Johnson had to kind of come back to the ball and pivot his hips open towards the near sideline. And the pass was a difficult one to catch, may have been out of bounds regardless. But Johnson not quite in position to make the play. 2nd down and 10, ball spotted at the 39-yard line, or 29-yard line, I should say. The own 29 for the Maroon Tide, moving left to right. Play action fake, read option throw over the middle. Catch is made, and just shy of the first down. Caught that time by Colton Keatley as he gets it out to about the 38-yard line. Needed the 39. And they're actually ruling it incomplete. I guess he lost it on the way to the ground, but it looks like he had it initially. So instead of a 3rd and short, it's a 3rd and 10 with 8:17 to play, and Galax leading at 7-0 here in the first quarter. Brennan Bryson, the up man in the formation, moves in front of Pickett to his left. in the offset eye. Here's the play action fake to Brown. Pickett steps up, fires over the middle. Catch is made by Keaton Beeman, and it looks like he is enough for a first down. He's up around the 40-yard line, and that is enough to move the chains.
Pickett's pass complete to number 9, Keaton
So
Beeman.
Mark Dixon turns to the air on 3rd and 10, and his quarterback Cole Pickett fires a strike across the middle, and that's enough to pick up the first down. Ball spotted just inside the far hash. Pistol formation. Pickett takes, gives to Pekron, who just checked in. Pekron across the line of scrimmage, but not much more. Got a yard or so up to about the 41-yard line. So Pekron, a guy who can spell Denver Brown in the backfield from time to time. A 5'6" junior, 140 pounds. Last week, after Brown in that third quarter opened it up by moving the ball all the way down the field, Pekron subbed in and was able to turn the corner on a sweep play to get into the end zone for his 3rd rushing score of the season. Brown back in the backfield, play action fake. Pickett steps up, fires over the middle of the field, catch is made, and breaking free is Beeman. He's at the 30 to the 20, angling far sideline, 10-5, touchdown, Maroon Tide. Keaton Beeman takes it all the way to the house, but there's a flag back around the line of scrimmage. And it's going to be a hold against Galax, so wipe the touchdown off the board. That would have been a 59-yard touchdown pass from Cole Pickett to Keaton Beeman, but a hold called on the play. So that will back Galax up 10 yards. Didn't matter last week, but they did have a long touchdown to Johnson wiped off the board in a similar fashion. But of course, in a 52-0 win, you're not going to sweat one penalty, one touchdown. Play action fake from Pickett. Deep in the pocket, now flush to his right, stumbles, maintains his feet, fires it out to the near sideline, tipped up in the air, falls incomplete. Intended for Johnson, just shy of midfield, and that will bring up 3rd down and 21. 7:08 to play, first quarter. Pickett now rushes over to the near side to talk with Johnson, as the two of them try to get on the same page. Johnson has been a tremendous addition for the Maroon Tide this season, a transfer from Fort Chiswell. 377 yards and 12 touchdowns for Johnson as Pickett is looking for his way over the middle of the field, and the pass is just overthrown. A post pattern, and it was man coverage all the way. Johnson had a step, but the pass was too tall and out in front of him, and Pickett on 3rd and 21 fires incomplete, and that will bring out the punt unit. So it will be Eduardo Ortiz to punt this one away.
Number 3, Ravon Wells.
Actually, this is Javier Gallardo who's back to punt. Side spinning spiral, bounces inside the 40, rolls inside the 30 now, and a favorable Galax hop takes it down to the 26-yard line. So with 6:51 to play here in the opening quarter, and Galax leading at 7-0, we'll get a chance to see the Maroons offense back on the field. Their first drive of the ball game featured a first down conversion on their opening set of downs, but then after that, they were unable to convert and ultimately punted the ball away. Cole Simmons this season, 70 of 108 throwing, 65% completion rate for 1,367 yards, 11 touchdowns, and he's yet to throw an interception. He takes the snap, fakes the pitch, pressure comes, he tries to step away, but he's swallowed up and dropped in the backfield. Maroon Tide get him for a sack, and it's a big loss on first down.
Simmons tackled by number 55, Lee Peoples.
That was Lee Peoples picking up his 3rd sack of the season, his 15th tackle for loss. And the 6'2", 175-pound senior continues to be an influence on the interior of that defensive line for the Maroon Tide. So a loss of 5 on the play brings up 2nd down and 15. Clock moving at 6:15 to play here in the opening quarter. Empty backfield, 2 wide to either side for Simmons. Back to throw, fires it high over the middle of the field and out of the reach of his intended target up towards midfield. That ball intended for Dason McMillan on the play. He was covered well by Cole Pickett. in man-to-man coverage deep down the heart of the field. And the pass falls incomplete, bringing up 3rd down and 15. 7-0 Galax midway through the opening quarter. George Wythe moving it from right to left. Ball centered in between the hash marks. Shotgun formation for Simmons from his own 21-yard line. He takes, drops back to throw. Looking, now flushed out of the pocket near side, rolling across the 15 out to the 20. And he got back to the original line of scrimmage, got out to the 21-yard line where he steps out of play. But it will bring up 4th down and 15 now, and likely another punting situation for the Maroons offense.
Bring up
4th and 15 from the 21-yard line. Zach Johnson standing back towards midfield, just on the Maroon side of the 50, waiting for the return. Simmons standing back, waiting for the snap. He gets it, chest high, steps into one, and hits a high punt, end over end. Johnson will let it bounce. It hits at the 44-yard line and takes one hop and sits right there. A lot of spin on it. It almost looked like a golfer with a pitching wedge who just dies the ball on one hop at the center of the green. And so Galax will take over at their own 44-yard line. 5:47 to play, opening quarter. Maroon Tide leading this one 7-0. Denver Brown, 2 rushes for 40 yards. Cole Pickett, 2 completions in 6 attempts for 23 yards offensively. Ball spotted at the near hash. 1st and 10 from the 44. Pickett takes the shotgun snap and a whistle blows. And it's coming in from the far sideline. And the indication is offsides on the defense. So that will set up 1st down and 5 now, as they'll advance the ball to the 49-yard line. And again, so far, last game and here again tonight, it's been outstanding starting field position for the Maroon side. 7-0. Pickett in a pistol set with Wells behind, or with Brown behind him. He steps in, fires a pass over the middle of the field. It's caught there and wrestled to the ground is Keaton Beeman, but he has the 1st down up across the 45 and down to about the 41-yard line. And he moves the change for the Maroon Tide. So Beeman, who is influential in both the run and the pass game so far today with a couple of receptions coming out of the backfield. Had a touchdown wiped off on the last drive. But right there, able to move the chains. Ball spotted at the 41-yard line. Galax moving left to right in their visiting white uniforms. Play action fake. Pickett steps in, fires to Johnson, wide open. Everyone is behind him, and Johnson will take it 41 yards for the score. He was uncovered. A blown defensive assignment, and Johnson was completely in the free. And he gets into the end zone, a 41-yard touchdown strike from Cole Pickett. And pending the extra point, it's going to be a 14-0 lead early. Gallardo on for the point after. Here's the kick. It is up. It is good. And Galax striking early. They've used the chunk plays here today, and they've taken a 14-0 lead over George Wythe with 5 minutes and 14 seconds to play. I said Gallardo. On the roster that was given to me here at game time, it lists Gallardo as 12, but based on what I had going into the game and what's showing on the StatCast, it is Ortiz who's the primary, the first string kicker, and so we'll go with Ortiz, who's now kicking off. Here's the run up by Ortiz and the boot. High end over end, angling to the far sideline. Ravon Wells back to take it. He will give it off on the end around Coming far sideline now are the Maroons, and up across the 30. They get it out to the 31-yard line. So they faked that last time. That was actually given to Wells. Caught initially by Dason McMillan, so they give it off to Wells coming around the far sideline after faking it the first time. And they get it out to the 33. So a couple of punts thus far for the George Wythe offense. Wythe is on a 5-game winning streak, 3-0 here at home this season, but trailing at 14-0 early. 2 wide to either side with Simmons in shotgun. Motion man across the formation. Simmons takes the snap and keeps it. A delay quarterback draw, and it was snuffed out nicely by the Galax defense. He's met at the line of scrimmage and tackled for no gain.
Tackled by number 66,
Andrew Belcher there on the stop, combined it with Brenda Rojas up front. And it will set up 2nd down and 10 from the 33. 14-0, Maroon Tide on top first quarter with 4:40 to play. Maroons coming off a victory over Gate City 34-7 back on October 4th. Simmons in shotgun takes the snap. Back to throw, steps up in the pocket, rolling to his right. Motioning downfield, he fires it out to the far sideline, and the catch is made. And it's Dason McMillan who was able to keep his feet in bounds and then tippy-toe across out of play. And he has enough for a first down into Galax territory. He's marked down at the 46-yard line. Nice communication there by Simmons, who was motioning to McMillan. And McMillan sat down right inside the sideline, and he was able to make the catch and keep his feet in bounds, dragging his toes on the play. And he picks up the first down. Ball spotted at the far hash. 1st and 10 from the Galax 46-yard line. Simmons in shotgun, 3 wide to the short side of the field, the far side, 1 to the near. And a whistle blows. It looked like a false start on a wide receiver. And I think that was McMillan, who is the middleman of the trip set far side. And a false start will back the Maroons up 5 yards. It'll be 1st down and 15. Now from their own 49. 14-0 Maroon Tide on top. 4:16 to play opening quarter. A couple of big chunk plays. A 41-yard touchdown throw from Pickett to Johnson, the most recent score. That came on the heels of a Denver Brown 37-yard touchdown skipper. 1st and 15 for Simmons. He's in the shotgun, he takes. And he gives to Wells up the middle, churning his feet forward, but a minimal gain shy of the original line of scrimmage. He got it across midfield and out to about the 47-yard line, and that'll set up 2nd down and 11. Ravon Wells this season in his senior campaign already over the 600-yard mark. He's at 661, averaging over 110 yards per game and 9 touchdowns. He's also got a receiving touchdown this year. 2 wide to the near side, 2 to the far for Simmons, who's in shotgun with Wells a step in front of him and to his left. Simmons calls for the snap. He takes it around knee height. Flushed out far sideline, rolling out, fires it deep down the field, and the ball is tipped up and incomplete. Big hit put on by Keaton Beeman in the secondary, and he knocked it off the fingertips of the intended receiver, Dason McMillan. And the pass fluttered incomplete across the sideline, and that brings up 3rd down and 11. So McMillan has been the go-to man early for the Maroons in the passing game. Entered play with 206 receiving yards and a touchdown. He's also a guy that they'll involve in the running game on some jet sweep action. 3:28 to play opening quarter. 14-0 Maroon Tide on top. 1 wide out far side, trips to the near. Ball spotted on the far hash at the 47. Simmons takes, drops back to throw. Pressure comes, fires over the middle of the field, has a man across the 40, 1st down and more, and dragged down from behind on the play by Brendan Bryson, but a 1st down converted to Braden Thompson, the junior wide receiver, with enough to move the chains, and he gets it inside the 30, and it's marked down at the 24-yard line. Catch and run from Braden Thompson. And he's marching the Maroons down towards the red zone. Thompson and McMillan split out far side. That's the wide side of the field with the ball spotted at the 24 on the near hash. Simmons takes the shotgun snap. 5-step drop, now looks to run with it, and he's dragged down from behind, trying to throw the ball, and he throws it incomplete. Boy, that was nearly intercepted. A defensive lineman for Galax nearly had it. That was up front Lee Peoples, who went sliding to the ground, tried to pick off the pass, and Peoples not able to keep it off the turf. A heads-up play by Peoples, who backed off at the last moment as the pressure closed in on Simmons, and he tried to get rid of it. He did to avoid the sack, but nearly an interception. Ball at the 24 in the near hash, 3 wide out to the far side. Simmons takes the snap, read option keeper, spins away from one tackler, and now the rest of the defense swarms to him and gets him right about at the original line of scrimmage as he's back to the center of the field at about the 24-yard line. 14-0 Galax. Defense looking to make a stand here. It's 3rd and 10 from their own 24. We'll see what Brandon Harner, the head coach for George Wythe, has in mind here. If he wants to get yardage to set up a 4th down and manageable, if he wants to try to go for the end zone, or if the yardage is to set up a field goal try. They're kind of on the edge of that range. Tight formation, 2 wide to either side. Simmons takes the shotgun snap. Looking to throw, firing it down the left side of the field, and the catch is made by McMillan. He's inside the 5, dodges a man, and he gets in for the touchdown. Dason McMillan from 24 yards out, and he has the first score of the game for the George Wythe Maroons. It's now 14-6 with the extra point pending. Simmons looking very comfortable so far today outside of the pocket. That time was able to avoid the rush, step to his left, motion downfield, and throw it on the run to an open McMillan, who caught it inside the 5, was able to slip out of one tackle and get into the end zone. And here's Capranos for the point after the kick is up, and the kick is good. And it's now a 14-7 Galax lead with 2 minutes and 4 seconds left to play here in the opening quarter. So a big answer that time for the Maroons, who marched the ball 67 yards and cap off the drive with a 24-yard touchdown pass from Cole Simmons to Dason McMillan. Simmons with 12 touchdowns now in the season. That was the 2nd of the year for McMillan. It's now a 14-7 ball game. Again, at 2 minutes and 4 seconds to play here in the opening quarter. Johnson and Peckron standing at their own 10-yard line, getting set now to return the kickoff. Yanni Caprano says the ball teed up at his own 40. A pair of 5-1 teams, this starting to live up to its billing. Kick is away. Side spiraling to the near side of the field. Johnson will take it at his own 12. Across the 20, out towards the 25, and he's wrapped up from behind, just shy of the 25-yard line. Tackle made by Tyler Jones, the sophomore, on special teams. And Galax will take over. Ball spotted at their own 24-yard line. So a couple of drives and a couple of monster plays offensively. Denver Brown on the opening drive, one play, 37 yards to pay dirt. And then Cole Pickett, last drive, able to find Zach Johnson on a blown coverage for a 41-yard score. On first down, Pickett takes, read option pass, fires it incomplete. He was under heavy duress and tried to find Johnson along the near sideline, and the pass was incomplete as it fell at the feet of Jude Regelspeller defensively. And that will bring up second down and 10 as Brandon Harner and company dialed up some heavy pressure on first down. 1 minute 54 to play, opening quarter. Ball spotted on the near hash. Pickett sets up in shotgun, has Brown off to his right side. Bryson, the up man, moves across the formation to the left side. Two wide to the near, one to the far as Pinkett takes, fires it over the middle of the field. Catch is made by Bryson as he picks up the first down and gets it out to about the 45-yard line. Bryson leapt up into the air, and the 6-foot senior used his whole frame to climb the ladder and reel in the catch and a first down. 21-yard completion to move the sticks. And Pinkett and the offense now approaching midfield. Pistol set, two out wide, one to the near side. Pinkett calls for the snap and takes chest high. Read option, give is to Brown, tries to bounce it out to the far side, across the line of scrimmage, out to midfield, and he's wrestled out of bounds into Maroon's territory at about the 48-yard line. So a gain of 6 or 7 on first down as Braden Thompson comes up to make the tackle from the secondary. Thompson now over 35 tackles on the year. Ball spotted at the far hash. It'll bring up second down and 3. Pistol set again with Brown, the tailback. Here's the turn by Pinkett and the give to Brown. Straight up the middle, met right at the line of scrimmage. Trying to turn his feet forward, but he's not going to get much of anything. Stopped right at the line of scrimmage for no gain. And that will bring up third down and 3. 1 minute and 10 seconds left to play opening quarter, with Galax moving it left to right in their home white uniforms here in the second road game of the season, the second conference game of the year. Pistol set, 2 wide, 1 near. Here's the play action fake and the keeper for Pinkett, and he's thrown down behind the line of scrimmage. Getting into the backfield to make the sack is Braden Thompson. Pinkett trying to keep it that time on a design quarterback run, and Thompson snuffed it out. And the sack brings up fourth down and 10 from the Galax 45-yard line. So now Galax will have to punt this ball away. Eduardo Ortiz is out to do just that. Steps into one, high end over end. And this one will bounce inside the 30, skip inside the 20. And Galax down in coverage will touch it down at the 19-yard line. Ravon Wells back to return, but the punt bounced well out in front of him, and there was not much he could do but watch it roll. And the Maroons will take over with 14 seconds to play in the opening quarter. Galax leading it 14-7. And Cole Simmons back out onto the field. Good crowd on hand here at George Wythe High School. Cement bleachers on either side. And the fans packed in on a brisk evening in October. Play is a keeper for Simmons straight up the middle, and he'll get a few yards as the clock will wind down, and that will bring up the end of this opening quarter. So a 6-yard gainer on first down for Simmons as the quarterback keeps it, and he will now head down to the opposite end of the field as the clock has run out on quarter number 1. 14-7, Galax on top, a couple of big chunk plays, and the Maroon Tide find the end zone twice in the first stanza. Back to George Wythe for the second quarter of play on the other side of this timeout. You're listening to the Maroon Tide Sports Network.
Check 1, 2. At this time, George Wythe High School would like to make a special recognition. We had a group of people head to the river course this past week, and George Wythe won their second consecutive state golf championship. Players that participated at the state championship: Channing Blevins was medalist, 2-time champion individual for Group A. Daniel Good finished second. Vincent Blevins finished third. Grant Rosenbaum was 5th in the state. Peyton Coe tied for 8th. Avery May tied for 14th. Dylan Booth and Peyton Philippi went as alternates. So congratulations to your 2019 Group A state champions.
Matt Present back with you from Pendleton Field inside the Twin County Tire and Automotive broadcast booth at Twin County Tire and Automotive. We have all major brands for all makes and models. Give us a call today for an appointment. It's 276-236-0007. Second down and 3 upcoming for George Wythe as they have it their third series offensively here today. Moving from left to right as they take over following the switch of sides at the end of the first quarter. Galax leading it 14-7. As Simmons brings the offense back out on the field, he has Wells off to his left, 3 wide to the far side. Low snap, Simmons will keep, looking to run to his left, no room, and he's thrown down for a loss on the play. A host of tacklers in there to make the stop, led by Lee Peoples up front.
Number 56, Daniel McKinney.
McKinney also in there on the play. And that will bring up third down and 6, a loss of 3. Simmons started to sprint to the far side and quickly put on the brakes and was unable to turn the Jets back on once he'd stopped. And that allowed the pursuit to get there as the Galax tacklers made the stop. Third down and 6 from the Maroons' 23-yard line. Ball spotted just inside the far hash, 3 wide to the far side, 1 out to the near. Simmons takes a low snap, looking to throw. Looking far side, now flushed down to the pocket, looking to run, and he will step out of bounds across the 30-yard line. That's enough for the first down.
Simmons keeping it for the Maroons.
So a run of 8 yards for Simmons. He needed 6.
53, Isaac Hollis.
Looks like it might be marked back a little bit from where it initially looked like he stepped out, but it is enough for the first down. They'll mark it just shy of the 30-yard line, up across the 29. 11:08 to play here in the second quarter. 14-7, Galax on top. Maroons offensively moving left to right. They're in their dark gray home uniforms with maroon helmets and lettering, white trim. Simmons, QB draw, straight up the middle, has some running room across the 35, and he's tackled from behind at about the 37-yard line. Riley Jovan in there on the stop, the 5'8 freshman making the tackle. And that will set up second down and 2. Simmons, a dual threat quarterback. He's a pass first guy, but does have nearly 500 rushing yards on the season now. Came in at 453, and he scrambled a few times here today. Bunch formation near side as Simmons takes another low snap. Steps up in the pocket, now flushed out to the near side and will throw it out of bounds into his own bench as the pressure was coming. And they're going to throw a flag for intentional grounding. Daniel McKinney, the closest to him. I thought initially that he had escaped the tackle box, but according to the head official here tonight, Jerry Taylor, that's not the case. It'll be a loss of down, and that will be a big penalty that will set up third down and long. Looks like it'll be about 3rd and 18 based upon the spot. 10:21 to play here in the second quarter. 14-7, Galax on top of George Wythe in a battle of 2 5-1 teams and the only 2 undefeated teams in the conference. 3 wide out to the near side, the short side of the field, 1 to the far. Low snap, Simmons takes, looking to throw. Fires it high and deep towards the near side of the field, and the catch is made across the 50-yard line. Great body control by Braden Thompson to keep his feet in bounds as he makes the catch at the 46-yard line, and that's enough to move the chains. A gain of about 34 through the air, and a big pass by Simmons, and a big third down conversion on 3rd and 18. He's made a couple of gutsy throws today. That time Thompson, and in the first quarter McMillan on 3rd down rollouts doing a nice job to keep their feet in play. Wells to the right hip of Simmons in shotgun. Another low snap, this time it bounced to him. Simmons rolling left, still rolling behind the line of scrimmage, eyes downfield, fires it out, far sideline. Ball is tipped and incomplete. looked to go in and out of the hands of his intended target.
Simmons pass intended to number
That was
15,
Ben Jolly, the intended
Jolly.
target, a 5'9" freshman in the formation, and Jolly with the defense right on his back, unable to hang on. So that brings up 2nd down and 10 from the Maroon Tide 46-yard line. George Wythe marching, moving from left to right. Ball spotted at the near hash. Simmons breaks the huddle, 3 wide out to the far side. Jolly alone to the near, with Wells, the tailback, off to the left side of Simmons. Shotgun snap he takes. Back to throw. Looking left, now back to his right, fires on the run, and the pass is a little bit too high and out of the reach of Dason McMillan on the crossing pattern. It's incomplete. That brings up 3rd down and 10. McMillan listed as a slot receiver. You'll see him all over the field. And again, he's a guy this season who's been heavily involved in both the run game and the passing game from that wide receiver spot. McMillan, one of those veterans that we were talking about on the pregame show today. He's a senior. Wells a senior. Simmons a senior at the skill positions on the offense. Now some confusion, and they'll get it sorted out as Thompson motions across to the near side. McMillan to the far. And the play clock winds and expires, and a whistle blows on the play. And just before that, there was a timeout taken by the Maroon Tide. So I'm not sure if the confusion on offense resulted in confusion as well on defense. But George Wythe bailed out as they were about to be assessed a delay of game penalty. But instead it was Galax taking time defensively. Just under 10 minutes to go here in the opening half. 14-7, Maroon Tide on top. Cole Pickett tonight, 5 of 10 for 95 yards and a touchdown. Denver Brown, 4 carries, 47 yards, including a 37-yard touchdown run on the opening play from scrimmage. Cole Simmons, 8 of 15, 105, and a touchdown through the air. He's also the leading rusher today for George Wythe, 10 attempts for 34 yards on the ground. These two teams awfully even in terms of total offense. George Wythe with a 10-yard advantage, 146 to 136. But Galax has had the better of the time of possession, 7:15 to 4:28. 9:59 to play first half. Simmons and company back out on offense. He takes the snap, empty backfield, flushed, and now wrapped up and dropped. He's thrown all the way back to his own 30-yard line as Vaught got in there, along with Colby Barnes, who's making his return to the lineup today. They'll give him forward progress out to the 38-yard line, but a big sack.
That'll bring up 4th down for the Maroons.
That's a loss of 14 on the play, and that brings up 4th and long, 4th and 26. So the Maroon Tide bring pressure. Simmons trying to evade it, held on to the ball too long and never did get rid of it. And now he will boot it away. Waving for the fair catch, and now dropped. But it looks like Johnson fell on it. Zach Johnson was able to get back on the ball after he had it bounce off his chest at his own 38-yard line. And that's where Galax will take over with 9:12 to play in the opening half. Very fortunate for the Maroon Tide that nothing worse came of that. Johnson was able to quickly fall on the muff punt. Ball spotted at the center of the field. Maroon Tide have it as they go from right to left with 9:12 to play in a 14-7 lead. Pistol formation for Cole Pickett. Pacron is the tailback. The turn and a give to Pacron, running left, cuts it back inside tackle, and he's wrapped up and driven back. It's a loss of 1 on the play. Front 4 were able to get there in a hurry as Brown returns to the backfield and Pacron checks out. It'll be 2nd down and 11 now with the clock inside 9 minutes to play in the opening half. 14-7, Galax on top. Maroon Tide now with Colton Keatley split out near side, 2 wideouts to the far. Ball spotted near hash. Pistol set, bobbled on the snap, and picked up by Pickett, but he'll be taken down behind the line of scrimmage and wrapped up for a sack. Pickett unable to corral the low snap. And the tackle made on the play by Connor Holbrook. He's in there to make the stop, the 6'3", 185-pound junior, with his second tackle for loss this season and first sack on the play. So now 3rd and 14 as the Maroon Tide find themselves behind the chains again. Ball at their own 34. Pickett in shotgun, Brown to his right. Play action fake to Brown. Pickett looking deep over the middle of the field, has Johnson, but he underthrows him and the ball is tipped up and incomplete. Regelsberger in coverage on the play, and if that ball is thrown about a yard in front of Johnson as opposed to a yard behind him, that might go the distance. But Pickett just a little bit short on the pass, and it falls incomplete as Regelsberger breaks it up. The junior got there defensively to knock it away, and it's now 4th and 14, and the punt team is out. Ortiz set to kick this one away, high end over end, but it's short. And it will take a favorable Galax hop inside the 45 and down to about the Maroons' 40-yard line. And that is where it's touched down on the play. So George Wythe will take over now at their own 40-yard line with 7:45 to go in the second quarter. And Galax leading it by a score of 14-7. Want to say thank you to all of our sponsors here on the Maroon Tide Sports Network, including Aunt Bee's Restaurant, Blue Ridge Tire and Automotive, Chick-fil-A of Mount Airy, the City of Galax Tourism Center, Isom Collision and Custom Paint. We'll get to more in a moment as the ball is pitched near side, loose on the ground, and it's knocked out of bounds at the 40-yard line. So it will result in no gain on the play. That was awfully risky as Simmons tried to pitch it off to his running back, Ravon Wells, and the pitch was a little bit out in front of him and off his fingertips, and the ball was able to be knocked out of play near side. So that brings up 2nd down and 10. Also want to say thank you to Twin County Healthcare, Twin County Tire and Auto, Bojangles, and Von Quinn Funeral Home. Matt Present with you here from Pendleton Field. So glad to have you with us. Galax and George Wythe. Second game of conference play, and the Maroon Tide leading it 14-7 with 7:40 to play second quarter as the whistle blows just before the snap on 2nd down and 10, and the play clock expired. Delay of game is the call against the Maroons. So that will back them up into a 2nd down and 15. Ball spotted just inside the near hash. Simmons in shotgun. Wells playing halfback in this set. Tight formation, 2 to either side. Pressure coming. Simmons fires out to the near sideline. Pass is incomplete. It was caught by Braden Thompson, but he was out of bounds, unable to keep his feet down on the near sideline. And that will bring up 3rd down and 15 now. Lee Peoples applying the pressure in the backfield against Simmons as those two exchange pleasantries after a hit was put on behind the line of scrimmage. Jude Regelsberger back into the formation, and he'll split out to the far sideline. He's out there with Davion Tillison. 3 wide out to the far, 1 to the near. Empty backfield for Simmons, who takes the snap. Pressure comes again. Simmons steps away from the first man, but the pursuit gets there, and McKinney takes him down for a loss. Daniel McKinney with his 12th tackle for loss on the play as Peoples and Hawks were coming off the far sideline. Simmons stepped up in the pocket but could not escape Hawks, who drags him down for the sack and a loss of 5. And it brings out the punt unit on 4th and 20. Ball at the Maroons' own 30-yard line. Simmons will punt this one away. Just gets it off. And it's a low end-over-end punt. Johnson will let it bounce, and it gets a good roll inside the 30 and down to about the 22-yard line. That was nearly blocked, but Simmons got it away. And it was an unreturnable punt, and he got some pretty good roll out of it. And Galax will take over from their own 22 with 6:50 to play here in the second quarter. Galax leading it 14-7 over George Wythe. These two teams, the only undefeateds in the Mountain Empire Conference. Fort Chiswell 1-2, Auburn 1-2, Grayson County 0-1. And each of these teams will play Grayson County over the course of the next couple of weeks. Pickett comes out in shotgun. First down, play action fake to Brown. Fires it out to the far sideline on the post pattern across the middle. And it's Johnson all the way out to midfield as he's wrestled down at the 47-yard line into George Wythe territory. Johnson in man-to-man coverage. We've seen that all day. And that time able to gain position on the post pattern and move the chains. A big pickup of 30 on first down. Galax wants to move quickly with 6:38 to play. Pickett takes, pump fake, has a man open, deep down the far sideline. It's Johnson again, beat his man, and he'll go all the way. Touchdown, Maroon Tide. A 47-yard strike, and this drive belonged to Zach Johnson, who gets into the end zone. And Galax now pending the extra point, leading it 20-7 here in the second quarter. A stop-and-go route for Johnson. And it's executed to perfection on the pump fake from Pickett. And for the second time today, he finds Johnson for a big play. And now Ortiz on for the point after. Ball placed down, kick is up, and the kick is good. So Johnson with a 41-yard touchdown in the opening quarter. This time a 47-yard strike. That came on the heels of a 30-yard reception. And Zach Johnson and the Maroon Tide out to a 21-7 lead here in the second quarter. 6:30 to play. And what a pump fake by Pickett. And the man defense on the backside left Johnson again in one-on-one coverage. And he was able to beat his man and race to the end zone for the touchdown. Galax, of course, last week had that 79-yard touchdown run from Denver Brown, but primarily speaking, they got a couple of interception returns from inside the 20. They moved the ball methodically. Today it's been big chunk plays. Every touchdown has been from more than 30 yards out. They have not been in the red zone today, as the kickoff is a low wobbler down to the 10-yard line, where it's collected there from McMillan, angling to the near side of the field, or out to the center of the field, rather. He gets it to the 20-yard line before he's taken down on the return.
By number 11, Isaac
So George Wythe will take over from their own 20 on 1st and 10 with 6:24 to play here in the first half. The lone touchdown today for George Wythe came from Cole Simmons on a 24-yard strike to Dason McMillan, where he rolled out to his left, bought time, and found McMillan at the 5, and he was able to shut a defender and get in. On first down, Simmons keeps it on a design draw, and he gets just across the line of scrimmage before he's dragged down by his ankles. And it's a very short gain on the play, maybe half a yard. Riley Vaught got him by the ankles. He was hit hard high as well.
Tonight's 50-50's up to $480.
And that will bring up second down and 9 with 6 minutes to play before the half.
For tonight's senior class.
Belcher checks into the defensive front. McKinney to the sideline here on 2nd and 9. 2 wide to either side. Ball spotted at the near hash at the 21-yard line. Simmons takes, fires it across the middle, has McMillan. Pass was juggled but caught behind him, and he's tackled after a gain of about 4 out to the 24-yard line, just shy of the 25. A quick crossing pattern for McMillan from the slot, moving right to left. And that will bring up 3rd down and 6 with 5:20 to play here in the second quarter. George Wythe has won their last 5. They're 5-1 in the season. Same record as the Maroon Tide. Galax out to a 21-7 lead as Simmons takes the snap under heavy pressure quickly, fires it out near side. Catch is made as McMillan went into a feet-first slide at the 30-yard line. That's exactly where he had to get to for the first down. It will depend on the spot. And it looks like the nose of the football is at the 30, but the near side official signaling that he may be inches short. The referee comes over to confer with the line judge on the spot, and now they're going to ask for the chains to come across the field, and they want a measurement. The ball has its nose resting exactly on the 30-yard line. That white line is about 3 or 4 inches wide. If he had to get it to the middle of that stripe, he's an inch or two short. If he needed the front edge of it, well, he got it. Chains now being stretched out to the near side of the field. They put it down right on top of the ball. It is about as close as you can get. And he got it. The referee crouched over. Almost needed that Gene's territory index card. That's how close it was. So it's first down and 10 from the George Wythe 30. Maroons moving it left to right. Ball spotted at the near hash. 3 wide to the far side, 1 to the near. The give is to Wells up the middle. Nothing doing. Stacked up and driven back. And it's a loss of 1 on the play. The front 4 of the defense all swarmed inside. Vaught and Belcher combining to make this stop. Barnes in there as well.
Number 3, Ravon Wells.
And it's a big return today for Barnes defensively. Colby Barnes, the 5'8", 175-pound junior linebacker, is such a force, especially in stopping the run, which again was the biggest key today for head coach Mark Dixon. He wanted to stop the run and turn Simmons into a one-dimensional quarterback. That's been the case for the most part thus far. Barnes showing blitz off the edge as Simmons takes. Barnes collides and wraps up Simmons and takes him down. Barnes spun him around. Simmons stayed on his feet for a moment, but ultimately Simmons couldn't get away from the linebacker Colby Barnes, and right on cue he comes up with the sack, and it's a loss on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down and 15, a loss of 5. And there have been a lot of 3rd down and longs here tonight for the George Wythe offense. That said, Simmons has converted on some of them, and throughout the season has done a very good job taking care of the ball. He has not fumbled. He has not thrown an interception. Play clock down to 2. It's down to 1. And now a timeout taken by George Wythe. So on 3rd and 15, they couldn't.
Timeout taken by the Maroons.
They didn't want to fall any further behind the sticks. So Brendan Harner will take the timeout. Each team now with 2 remaining. Galax leading it 21-7. With 3:06 to play here in the second quarter. Cole Simmons, 11 of 17 for 112 yards and a passing touchdown. 11 rushes for 10 yards as the sacks are factored in there. Ravon Wells, 3 carries for 3 yards. He's been held quiet. Dason McMillan, the leading receiver, 5 catches for 54 for the George Wythe offense. Galax, meanwhile, has Cole Pickett, 7 of 13 for 173 and a pair of touchdowns. Both to Zach Johnson, who has 119 yards and a pair of scores through the air. Denver Brown, 47 yards on 4 carries, including a touchdown on the first play from scrimmage. 3:06 to play before the half. George Wythe offense coming back on the field. Stay with us at halftime for the City of Galax Tourism Maroon Tide halftime show. Complete recap of the first half scoring, as well as stats and analysis. And now Galax takes a timeout. So back-to-back timeouts here in the second quarter with 3:06 to play. And the Maroon Tide on top, 21-7. Galax with 210 yards of total offense. 173 through the air to go along with 37 on the ground. George Wythe, 121 yards of total offense. They have 112 through the air and 9 yards on the ground. Maroon Tide, one more first down. They lead 8-7. And they also have a 1-minute lead in terms of time of possession. It's been the big plays thus far that have been the difference. Teams making their way back out to the field. 3rd down and 15. George Wythe moving left to right from their own 25-yard line. Simmons has 3 wide to the far side, the wide side of the field. 1 wide out to the near. Shotgun formation, Wells off to his left. Here's the snap. And he takes and fires it over the middle. It's tipped by 2 different receivers, and it falls incomplete. Pass was initially intended. It looked to me like it was intended for Braden Thompson. It went off of his hands, then off of Ben Jolly's hands, and fell incomplete over the middle, and that brings up 4th down and 15. And it will be another punt upcoming for Cole Simmons. Zach Johnson standing just on the Galax side of midfield. The punt is away from Simmons, high and short. And Johnson waving off his team. They'll let it bounce on the far side across the 50 and into Maroon Tide territory along the far sideline, where it's touched down at the 46-yard line. So 2:52 to play now in the first half. Again, it's a 21-7 Maroon Tide lead. 3 explosive touchdowns, 1 from Denver Brown and 2 from Cole Pickett to Zach Johnson. That's been the story of this first half. Big, big plays. Simmons comes out in the pistol. Brown behind him. Simmons takes, and he will keep it on the read option, and he's dragged down for a sack. Dayson McMillan the first to get there. Also in the backfield was Braden Thompson, and it will be a loss of 6 on the play. There have been a couple times today where Simmons has misread that option, and he's kept it when he should not have. And Galax again behind the sticks. They'll call it 2nd down and 17. Here's the take from Pickett. They gave us to Brown, trying to get to the far side. Gets out of 1 tackle. Back to the original line of scrimmage. Still on his feet, and he's going to go down the far sideline. Able to turn the corner and get past everybody, and he goes all the way for the score. A 61-yard touchdown run for Denver Brown, who looked initially to be stopped around the line of scrimmage, slipped out of a couple ankle tackles, and exploded all the way to pay dirt. Galax with 4 touchdowns on the board, and they've yet to get into the red zone today. Ortiz on for the point after. Snap, ball placed down. Here's the right-footed boot. It is up, and it is through. And Galax explosive offensively today, leading at 28-7 with 2:09 to play in the first half. What a run from Denver Brown. He slipped out of tackles along the far sideline and broke into the open field. And Brown now over the 100-yard mark, 108 yards and a pair of touchdowns on just 5 carries. And the most recent score for Denver Brown, 61 yards on the scamper. So Ortiz now set to kick off. And this is a big last possession, presumably, for the George Wythe offense with 2 minutes and 9 seconds to go before halftime. It's a lot different going into the locker room down 3 scores than 2. We'll see if they have a response. McMillan and Wells back to receive. Here's the kickoff from Ortiz, low and down the middle. And that'll be scooped up by McMillan at the 14-yard line. Makes one man miss across the 20. He's wrestled down at the 25-yard line. And a flag comes in up at the 40.
Tackled by number 57, Riley Vault.
So
Number
we'll await
4,
the call.
Santana Sawyer.
Riley Vaught made the stop. Looked like there might be some unsportsmanship. If I had to guess, there were a couple players face to face, but it didn't look like anything over the top. But it's an interesting spot. Flag coming in well ahead of the play on the kickoff return. And it's a face mask call. So that will take it from the 24 to the 39-yard line. So that turns it into pretty decent field position on the return with 2:04 to play, and George Wythe getting set to try to make up some of their deficit here. 28-7, the lead for the Maroon Tide. So the Maroons take over at their own 39-yard line. 2 wide to either side, ball in the near hash. 1st and 10. Simmons takes, rolls out to the far sideline. Still on the run, outside the hash mark, fires downfield, and the catch, no, it's incomplete. Had a man at the first down sticks, but Thompson unable to hang on, and that brings up 2nd down and 10.
19, Braden Thompson.
Simmons certainly has been able to spread the ball around today. Has targeted McMillan, Thompson, Jolly, Regelsberger. He's gone all over the field as part of this spread offense. Both teams run it. Play clock at 7. 2nd down and 10. Simmons takes with the clock at 5. Fires it out to the middle of the field. Catch is made. And Cole Pickett comes up with the tackle after a gain of about 7.
Simmons pass complete to number 12, Luke Jolly.
Luke Jolly on the reception.
Tackled by number 8, Cole Pickett.
Jolly, a freshman. Luke and Ben, 2 twins on the offense for the Galax, or for the George Wythe Maroon. Simmons takes, steps up in the pocket, trying to run for it, but he's quickly swallowed up and wrestled down by Isaac Hawks.
Tackled by number 53,
Hawks with the stop. And the 5'10", 165-pound senior stops Simmons at the line of scrimmage, and that brings up 4th down and 5. 1 minute, 15 seconds to play here in the opening half. And right now it looks like Wythe will go for it. Simmons takes the snap, pressure coming. He's trying to evade the rush, rolling near side, and he will just scamper out of bounds. Barnes and Hawks racing towards him from behind. And so Simmons just ducks out of play, and he'll come up short of the 1st down. And Galax dials up the blitz on 4th and 5, and they force the turnover on downs. And now they have a chance to score once more before going into the halftime locker room. Big call there on 3rd down, or on 4th down, I should say, to be able to get that stop and take over possession at the George Wythe 40. 28-7, Galax on top with 1 minute and 1 second to play before halftime. Galax with 1 timeout remaining. George Wythe has 2. 1 wide to either side. Simmons in shotgun has Brown to his right. Play action fake on 1st down. Simmons looking across the field and fires it out to the near side. It's incomplete. He was intending to get that one to Keaton Beeman, but the pass was out and ahead of him and incomplete. And that will bring up 2nd down and 10 with 57 seconds left to play in the opening half. Beeman and Keatley split out to the near side. The short side of the field, 1 wide to the far. Play action fake. Pickett stepping up, firing it deep down the middle of the field, looking for Johnson. It's tipped up and incomplete. Johnson had it, but could not hold on. That would have been a touchdown as he went up for it around the goal line. Regelsberger in coverage, able to influence as Johnson couldn't make the catch. And that brings up 3rd down and 10 with 48 seconds left before halftime.
That'll bring up 3rd down for the Maroon Tide.
So now it's 3rd down and 10. Brown to the left of Pickett in shotgun. Here's the snap. Play action fake. Pickett dropping back. Looks like he's trying to set up a screen. No one open. Now he fires it into coverage, and it's intercepted. across the 40 and out towards midfield, and tackled down across at midfield is Braden Thompson, who comes up with the interception as Pickett has thrown his 5th of the year. And now with 37 seconds before the half, George Wythe has one final chance as they take over at midfield. Pickett looked to be trying to set up a screen. There was no one in the flat, and then throw off his back foot into coverage, and Thompson plucked it out of the air, and he comes away with the interception. That's Thompson's 3rd interception of the season, and it sets up the offense at the 48-yard line. Simmons in shotgun, takes a low snap, steps away from the rush, now looks to run across midfield out to the 40. Sheds a tackler to the 30, and a shoestring tackle saves a touchdown. It was made inside the 30-yard line. Big stop made by Keaton Beeman as Simmons nearly broke into the open field and got loose for 6. 30 seconds to go. Clock stopped while they moved the chains. 28-7, Galax on top. But George Wythe is driving from left to right. Clock winding under 30 now as Simmons takes the snap. Barnes coming on the blitz. Simmons rolling near side. Slips out of one tackle, now looks to run and ducks out of bounds. Got back close to the line of scrimmage, maybe lost a yard on the play. And the clock stopped at 19 seconds with the ball at the 23, 24-yard line, depending on the spot. It will be the 24. So it's 2nd down and 7. He was able to pick up 3 yards along the near sideline. Ball at the 24-yard line near hash. 3 wide to the far sideline, 1 to the near. Simmons in shotgun. Takes the snap. Blitz coming. Simmons steps up, loses the football. It's towards the sideline, picked up by Galax. Were they inbounds? The ball was out of bounds. Riley Jovant recovered the ball, but he was out of bounds as Belcher was over there as well. And with 12 seconds remaining in the first half, George Wythe will retain possession and have at least one more shot. Simmons under heavy duress with Barnes blitzing from the strong side. Coming from the back of Simmons, poked it free. And now there's 12 seconds to go. George Wythe does have 2 timeouts, so they don't have to throw for the end zone quite yet. Ball spotted back at the 36. Simmons takes shotgun snap, steps up in the pocket, met by a host of tacklers and taken down behind the line. And now a timeout is taken by George Wythe. 5 seconds to go before halftime. They lost a yard or 2 on the play. As the ball is spotted at the 36, it'll be 3rd and 19 with 5 seconds to go before halftime. The Galax coaching staff out on the field now as well. Each team with 1 timeout remaining here in the first half. So presumably it'll be a Hail Mary, with Galax leading at 28-7. And again, everything so far today has been explosive. None of the 4 touchdowns have come from inside the red zone, and they've all been from at least 30 yards away. So 5 seconds left to play before halftime. George Wythe has one final chance at the end zone from the Galax 36-yard line. 5 wide receivers in the formation. 2 out to the wide side and 3 to the near. Ravon Wells, the running back, is out wide to the far side. Simmons dropping back. Pressure comes, heaves it deep down the near side of the field, has a man, it's caught and taken down at the 1-yard line. It's intercepted. Intercepted by Galax, and running it back is Zach Johnson. But the whistle blows, and now there's a man down on the play. It looked like initially the ball was caught by the offense, and there's a George Wythe player down near the goal line. Tough to tell exactly what happened, but Johnson ultimately came away with it. And it looks like this will take us to the half. Players going to a knee. And the referee's announcing that the first half has come to a close. So we'll step aside, come back, and detail what's taken place here, and hope all is well with the injured player, as it looks like he's now getting to his feet. It was Braden Thompson who nearly came down with the football in the final play of the first half. And we'll tell you more as the halftime show comes your way next. Galax at the break, leading at 28-7. Back with you next here on the Maroon Tide Sports Network.
At this time, we have a special presentation taking place at midfield. We'd like to recognize Davion Tilson for winning the Group A triple jump last spring. He had a jump of 43 feet 8 inches. And he is your 2019 single A triple jump champion. Congratulations, Davion.
Matt President back with you here at halftime. Halftime show is brought to you by the City of Galax Tourism.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2019 homecoming festivities for George Wythe High School. We are sincerely glad that you have joined us to culminate what has been a fantastic week for our students and staff. At this time, we'd like to recognize some alumni classes that are celebrating special anniversaries. The class of 2010 is celebrating its 10-year anniversary. President of the class of 2010 was Martha Walters. Vice President.
Matt President back with you here at halftime, 28-7, Galax leading George Wythe. As our halftime show continues now, presented by the City of Galax Tourism, your Maroon Tide halftime sponsor. Some of the most enjoyable activities you can experience in Galax: a drive down a quiet mountain, eating delicious food, or taking in the old-time mountain and bluegrass music. A glimpse into the culture and history of our small city is one of the many simple pleasures that can be enjoyed in Galax. To learn more about things to do, places to eat, and events up and coming, visit Galax.com. Again, that's visitgalax.com. You can also stop by the Visitor Center at 110 East Grayson Street. We'd love to have you. The Tourism Center. Best of luck to Maroon Tide Sports from visitgalax.com. Again, your score at the break. It's the Maroon Tide at 28 and George Wythe 7, as right now it is homecoming here at George Wythe High School, and they're honoring the homecoming court at midfield. They also, at the beginning of halftime, honored Dason Tillison, who was recognized for his excellence on the track and field team for the triple jump this season. So that was a presentation that began here at halftime as well. As we take you through some halftime numbers and look first at the individual numbers, and we'll start with Galax. Cole Pickett in the first half, 7 of 16 passing for 176 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Denver Brown, 5 carries on the ground, 108 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Tristan Peckron, 2 carries for no yards. Cole Pickett, 3, and he lost 16 as a result of a couple of read option keepers. Receiving-wise, Zach Johnson leads the way, 3 catches, all of which were explosive, 119 yards and 2 touchdowns. Keaton Beeman, 3 receptions, 33 yards, and Brendan Bryson with 1 catch for 21 yards. Defensively, the freshman Riley Jovant leading the cause. He has half a sack, a couple of tackles for loss, 8.5 total tackles today. Colby Barnes in his return to the lineup, 8.5 tackles, including 2.5 sacks and 3.5 tackles for loss. And Zach Johnson has an interception here in the first half to go along with his 2 touchdowns and 2.5 tackles defensively, while Isaac Hawks and Keaton Beeman each have a couple of tackles. For the George Wythe Maroons individually, Cole Simmons, 12 of 23 passing for 120 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. And that was his first interception all season long that he threw to Zach Johnson just before the break. Simmons also with 14 yards rushing. Ravon Wells has been largely shut down here today, 3 carries for 3 yards. It's been mostly the receiving core. Dason McMillan, 5 catches for 54 yards, including a 24-yard touchdown reception. Brendan Thompson, 3 catches for 51 yards. And Jude Rangelsberger with 2 catches for 13 yards. When we come back on the halftime show, we'll give you some team stats and then run through the first half scoring. Again, the score at the break, it's Galax 28 and George with 7 here on the Maroon Tide Sports Network.
Students also earn points for the class and the community by participating in Penny Wars, the Cool to Be Kind Challenge, the Float Contest, and the Spirit Stick competitions. The battle was hard fought, and at this time, I would like to recognize and congratulate the winner of the Battle of Classes is the senior class. Congratulations to the senior class. And now, if you will direct your attention to midfield, we will begin with the procession of the homecoming court. The 9th grade princess is Mackenzie Tate. Mackenzie is the daughter of Bradley and Shannon Tate. She is escorted by freshman Prince Brady Walters, the son of Jason and Dreamer Walters. The 10th grade princess is Maggie Humphreys, daughter of Eric and Melissa Watson. She is escorted by sophomore Prince Riley King, son of Tony and Rhonda King. The 11th grade princess is Drea Betts. She is the daughter of Derek Betts and Megan Johnson. She is escorted by junior Prince Brian Hoback, son of Brian and Kim Hoback. And now for our King and Queen candidates. Our first Queen candidate is Kayla Alford, the daughter of Rocky and Angie Alford. She is escorted by King candidate Channing Blevins, son of Ray and Kay Blevins.
Matt Present back with you from Pendleton Field here at George Wythe High School. Again, the homecoming ceremonies continuing down on the field with Galax leading George Wythe 28-7 here at the break. Team stats to tell you about. Galax today has run 26 plays so far for 265 total yards. That's 92 on the ground, 173 through the air, including 9 first downs, and they've held the ball for 10 minutes and 9 seconds. And they have yet to commit a penalty so far tonight. 1 of 5 on third downs, and they have also punted the ball 3 times for an average of 35 yards. For George Wythe, 44 plays run offensively for 137 yards. They've held the ball for 13 minutes and 29 seconds. They've rushed the ball for 17 yards, passed the ball for 120. They have a touchdown and an interception. 6 of 13 on third downs. That's what's kept them in it. 4 penalties for 20 yards, and they've punted the ball away 5 times here in the first half. Again, your halftime score, it's Galax 28, George Wythe 7. We'll recap the first half scoring in a moment here on the Maroon Tide Sports Network.
Our final Queen candidate is Lauren Lampkins, the daughter of Brian Lampkins and Althea Grubb. She is escorted by King candidate Rayvon Wells, the son of Rashad Wells Sr. and Jennifer Wells. We are pleased to have with us last year's homecoming royalty, Miss Lindsay Sweet. She is escorted by the King, Mr. Weston Gordon. Last year's King and Queen were crowned this year's royalty. Big congratulations to all these candidates, and thanks to everyone who assisted with homecoming. A big thanks to Mr. Ellie Younger and Miss Jennifer Ferguson and the entire George Wythe High School faculty and staff and custodians. And now for the moment we've all been waiting for. The homecoming king for 2019 is Rayvon Wells. and the homecoming queen of 2019, Mackenzie Ingo. Again, congratulations to all these candidates and all these representatives. Let's give them one more round of applause. If you'll get your tickets out, or half and half, the winner will take home $308. We appreciate everyone that supported.
Matt Present back with you here at halftime, 28-7. Galax leading George Wythe here at the break. It's time now for our halftime recap. It's brought to you by Isom Collision and Custom Paint. And Isom Collision and Custom Paint, they're your hometown specialist for collision repair and custom paint projects. Isom Collision is located 1 mile from I-77 between Jeff Johnson Chevrolet and Horizon Rental. Open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call them at 276-728-4330 to schedule an appointment today. That's 276-278-4330. Isom Collision and Custom Paint supporting the Tide Pride. So here's the first half scoring recap for you. It all started with a great kickoff return to begin the ball game as George Wythe won the toss and deferred. And Zach Johnson brought it out all the way across midfield and out to the 47-yard line. That's where Denver Brown took over, or 43-yard line, I should say. And anyway, one play later, Denver Brown ran all the way through the defense, straight up the middle, all the way to the end zone. It was a 37-yard touchdown run. So I guess it was the 37-yard line to complete that math that the kickoff was returned to by Zach Johnson. A 37-yard touchdown run for Denver Brown on the first play from scrimmage. And Eduardo Ortiz added the extra point to put Galax ahead 7-0 in the opening quarter. Cole Pickett then went to work offensively after a punt, and he drove the team into the offensive side of the field, but not that far because Galax in this first half never made it to the red zone. Pickett fired a pass to Zach Johnson on a post pattern, a 41-yard touchdown strike. And with the extra point from Eduardo Ortiz, it made it a 14-0 Galax lead early. Now Cole Simmons, despite a couple of early 3-and-outs, they didn't really convert on a whole lot of first downs in that first quarter. He did settle down a little bit towards the end of the quarter, and he marched his team down to the 24-yard line with 2 minutes and 4 seconds to go when he rolled out to his left, stopped on a dime, and fired it to Dason McMillan, who was just inside the 5-yard line and was able to make the catch and shed a tackler and get into the end zone for a touchdown. Yanni Capranos added the extra point. That made it 14-7 with 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Second quarter, more big plays for Galax. Midway through, Cole Pickett found Zach Johnson on a stop-and-go route down the far sideline for a 47-yard catch and run. That was his second touchdown of the half, and with the extra point from Ortiz, Galax went up 21-7 in the second quarter. Then with time winding down, Denver Brown took the carry from his own side of midfield. It was a 61-yard scamper as he looked to initially just get back to the line of scrimmage, but ultimately from his own 39-yard line was able to turn the corner and get down the sideline for a 61-yard touchdown run. Ortiz again added the extra point. And so far this season, Ortiz in point afters is now 32 for 35, and Galax up 28-7. It looked like George Wythe would have one final chance. They had the ball with 5 seconds to go before halftime, and out of a timeout, went for the Hail Mary. And Cole Simmons fired the ball deep down the near sideline, and it looked like initially Braden Thompson might have it, but he was knocked down on the play, and instead Zach Johnson came away with the interception, the first pick of the season thrown by Cole Simmons. As they were denied right at the goal line, Johnson came away with the interception, and Galax goes into halftime leading it 28-7. We'll come back and take a look at the Mountain Empire standings and take a look at what's on tap for these two teams moving forward Again, a lengthy halftime here with the homecoming celebration and ceremonies, and now the marching band performing. So still about 6.5 minutes to go in halftime. Galax leading it 28-7 here on the Maroon Tide Sports Network.
Foley is a Detroit cop vacationing somewhere he doesn't belong. I'm going deep, 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 deep undercover. Eddie Murphy. Beverly Hills Cop.
Matt Present back with you here at George Wythe High School. Halftime. And right now it's the Maroon Tide leading it 28-7 as we take a look now at the Mountain Empire standings and the upcoming schedule for both of these teams. Galax, after their 52-0 victory last week against Fort Chiswell, 5-1 on the season, entering play today, and 1-0 in conference. George Wythe tonight also 5-1. They're 2-0 thus far in conference play and riding a conference best 5-game winning streak since a loss to open their season back at the beginning of the year. Fort Chiswell 1-2 on the year. They're 3-4 overall, but 1-2 in conference play. Auburn also is 1-2 in conference play and 4-3 overall. Grayson County 2-5 this season and 0-1 in Mountain Empire competition. Taking a look at what's on tap for these two teams, Galax will return home to face off with Auburn next Friday. That's the 25th of October. Auburn again this season 4-3 and 1-2 as they enter play tonight. It will be the final home game for Galax this season during the regular season at least, as they will finish off their year on the road at Grayson County on November the 8th. As for the George Wythe Maroons, after this week against Galax, George Wythe will take on Grayson County next week on November the 1st. And then they'll conclude their season against Rural Retreat on the 8th of November. So Galax vying for another playoff spot. They're certainly well on their way out to a 5-1 start to the season. And tonight eyeing a 2-0 start to conference play as they lead it 28-7 at the brink. Second half kickoff coming your way when we come back. You're listening to the Maroon Tide Sports Network. Matt Present back with you here at halftime, 28-7. Maroon Tide on top as the marching band is wrapping up their halftime performance. The teams making their way back onto the playing surface, coming out of the tunnel or wherever they were down the right side of the field beyond the end zone and back towards their respective sidelines. Galax on the far sideline dressed in their visiting white uniforms. And now the George Wythe Maroons stretching out on the field surface. They have the near sideline and tonight are donning their home dark gray uniforms. So as we recap the keys to victory here today, taking a look back at what Mark Dixon had outlined pregame, his biggest concern was the running game, and that's been very non-existent, I think you can say, so far tonight, as there have only been 3 rushing yards totaled by the Maroon attack. And the other thing has been the pressure that the Galax defense has gotten up front, especially the impact you see of Colby Barnes, who's back in the lineup following injury. He was coming on the blitz early and often, was able to pick up a couple of sacks and really keep Cole Simmons running outside of the pocket. We'll take one final break and come back with the second half kickoff next. Galax on top 28-7 over George Wythe here on the Maroon Tide Sports Network. Almost time for the second half kickoff, as it will be George Wythe getting the ball first. They had the final possession of the first half and tried to throw a Hail Mary, but it ended up being intercepted by Zach Johnson, the first interception that Cole Simmons has thrown this season. It was a tale of pressure in the first half, and despite a high first down conversion percentage by the George Wythe offense, they were not able to move the ball deep down the field, not able to have a whole lot on the ground. And we talked about the front four, along with Colby Barnes in his return, and that made the offense very uncomfortable for George Wythe. They were out of rhythm, and that's really what kept the Maroon Tide in rhythm defensively. They were able to apply that pressure and force takeaways and force punts and get the ball back for their very explosive offense. They will kick the ball away here to start half number 2. Ravon Wells along with Dason McMillan back to receive.
Number 3, Ravon Wells, and number 5,
That will be
Dason McMillan.
Ortiz to kick off. He has the ball teed up on his own 40-yard line, and he will kick it from right to left. Again, it's a 28-7 lead for Galax as we begin the second half of play here from Pendleton Field. Here's the run up by Ortiz and the boot. It's short. It's a squib kick out to the 30, bobbled by the up man, and now he falls on it at the 29-yard line. That was Leighton Fowler, who just fell on the football at his own 29. And that's where George Wythe will take over offensively here to begin the third quarter. Cole Simmons was running around a lot in the first half, had to roll out and make some throws on the run. He was fairly effective, but not able to do so consistently enough to stay ahead of the sticks. Too wide to either side as Rangel-Speller motions across the formation. The give is to Wells up the middle, and he'll get a 3 or 4 yard pickup on first down as he runs inside left guard. And so the first play of the second half gains as much on the ground as Wells had the entire first half as they look to establish him out of halftime. Big moment for Wells at halftime as they did the homecoming ceremonies and the court was announced and introduced, and Rayvon Wells was named the homecoming king for George Wythe High School. Simmons will go with the quarterback draw this time, spins to the outside, but he's wrapped up and dropped right around the line of scrimmage. Nice play by Daniel McKinney and Riley Jovan. It looked like initially Simmons had found some running room as he bounced it away from his offensive lineman. But the Galax defense quick to adjust and quick to get there and drag him down. And that will bring up 3rd down and 6. 1 minute gone by here in the second half. 3 wide to the near side, 1 out to the wide side of the field on the far. Wells to the right of Simmons in shotgun. He takes the snap, looks out far side, catch is made, but the receiver is tackled immediately as that was Sawyers on the stop. The pass was complete to Davion Tillison, but he comes up short of the first down after a short gain. It was 3 on the pickup, and it will be 4th down and 3 as the ball is spotted at the 36-yard line. It looks like they're going to punt this away. I'm a little bit surprised on 4th and 3 that they wouldn't go for it here. Down by 21. So Galax needs to be aware of the fake. Simmons does punt it away, high end over end to the middle of the field. This will bounce at the 40 and spin back the opposite way, and it's picked up at the 42-yard line. So Galax will take over in good field position with 10 minutes and 2 seconds to play here in the third quarter. Very conservative for Brandon Harner out of halftime. On 4th and 3, he elects to punt the ball away. So now Cole Pickett and company take over at their own 42-yard line. Johnson split out to the far side of the formation. Colton Keatley, who has yet to catch a pass today, is to the near side. Ball at the middle of the field. Pistol set, high snap, pulled down by Pickett. He takes and he gives to Brown, running right. Inside left tackle, or right tackle I should say, and out to midfield. He picks up 8 on first down, dragging tacklers behind him, and he puts it right on the midfield stripe.
Number 53, Nick Martin.
Nick Martin makes the stop, the leading tackler for this George Wythe defense. Martin comes in with 71.5 tackles combined on the season, including 10 for loss. Pistol set again for Pickett. Ball inside the far hash, 1 wide to either side. Takes the snap, hands off to Brown, weaving through traffic up the middle, bounces it out wide, has the first down and more. Across the 40 to the 30, down the far sideline to the 20, 10-5, touchdown. Denver Brown, his 3rd of the night.
Touchdown, Maroon Tide.
A 50-yard touchdown scamper for Denver Brown, and Galax now ahead 34-7 with 9:18 to play in the third quarter. Big play after big play. And again, the Maroon Tide with 5 touchdowns on the board and yet to get into the red zone. Ortiz on for the point after. Here's the snap. Ball is placed down. Ortiz with the right-footed kick. It is up, and it is good. And with 9:18 to play in the third quarter, it's a 35-7 Galax lead as Denver Brown has broken off his 3rd monster touchdown run of the night. He had one on the first play from scrimmage from 37 yards out. Then he had another one in the second quarter from 61 yards away. That time from the midfield stripe, a 50-yard touchdown scamper. And then for Brown tonight with 3 touchdown runs and a total of well over 100 yards now. He had 200 yards rushing in the game last week. He now has 166 yards on 7 carries. That's an average of 23.7 yards per attempt. Ortiz to kick off right to left. It's another squib kick, and it's collected at the 31-yard line, and Upman has it, and he gets it to the 33 before he's wrestled down in the middle of the field. It's Fowler again on the return for a 2-yard pickup. And now Cole Simmons in the offense will need to have a little bit more urgency now with a 35-7 deficit and 9:13 to play here in the third quarter. Galax defense has applied a ton of pressure up front. Isaac Hawks, Lee Peoples, Daniel McKinney, Riley Jovat, the front 4. With Colby Barnes blitzing often. They're showing blitz here on first down. Simmons takes the snap. The give is to Wells, straight up the middle. Not much running room. He's stacked up and pushed backwards right at the line of scrimmage. Again, that front 4 doing it without a whole lot of help from the secondary. It was McKinney on the stop, joined by Isaac Bartlett defensively. So now it's 2nd down and 10. Ball at the George Wythe 33-yard line. 2 receivers to either side of the formation. Wells, the tailback, to the left of Simmons in shotgun. He takes the give is to Wells up the middle, and again, minimal running room. Gets a yard or 2, and he's dragged down from behind. Couple of tacklers there. It was Brenda Rojas leading the charge defensively. So that brings up 3rd and 8 with 8:13 to play here in the third quarter. Luke Jolly checks out with Judah Regel-Spelder back into the formation. Ball at the 35-yard line. 3rd down and 8. Shotgun snap for Simmons. 2 wide to either side. Wells in the backfield. Here's the snap. Simmons drops back. Steps up in the pocket now, rolling out to his right. Looks to run it. Upfield across the 40. Has the first down up to the 45-yard line. And he ducks out of bounds at the 47. Simmons kept his eyes downfield. Didn't have an open man. And took off running. Able to turn the corner and get it close to midfield. A first down pickup and a fresh set of downs with 7:44 to play. So Simmons now with 30 rushing yards in the ball game as he's closing in on the 500 mark on the season. 35-7, Galax on top. 3 wide bunch to the near side of the field, and the give is to Wells. Straight up the middle, hurdles a tackler, and now bounces off another one up to the 45-yard line of the Maroon Tide, and he's close to the first down. Needed the 47. It's an 8-yard pickup on first down before Beeman is in there to make the stop, and that will bring up 2nd and about 1.5. So George Wythe here to start the second half, recommitted to the running game. And if nothing else, Galax having to respect it. 2nd and 1. And a fumbled snap, and the Maroon Tide fall on it. Andrew Belcher picks up the loose ball. And just as the George Wythe offense started to find some rhythm, Galax forces a turnover. Belcher picks it up at the 46-yard line, and the Maroon Tide will take over offensively. What a big stop by Galax to snuff out any momentum that George Wythe was picking up. Pickett and pistol set, play action fake, fires it out far side and out in front of his intended man. Again, it was Johnson in single coverage out to the far sideline, running a bit of a skinny post. And he reached out with one hand. It may have hit his fingertips, but never really threatened to make the catch. Man-to-man coverage out on the far sideline. He was defended on the play by Davion Tillison. So that brings up 2nd down and 10 from the Maroon Tide 46-yard line. 2 wide to the far side. Nick Sawyer's the slot man, now motions towards the formation. Pistol set, Pickett takes, he turns and he gives to Beeman in the backfield this time. Beeman inside right tackle, sheds one man, cuts it back to the middle of the field, and he gets up to the 45-yard line across midfield and into George Wythe territory. He's about a yard shy of the first down. It's a pickup of 9 on 2nd down for Beeman. Galax looking to go fast. 4 down linemen, linebackers creeping. It's a quarterback sneak. And a big pickup on the sneak on the keeper for Pickett. He's got a first down and a gain of 4 or 5 as he powers his way forward behind that big offensive line. That same defensive front that we were talking about, McKinney, Belcher, Hawks, Riley Jovaught, all doing their work up front. And it's a fresh set of downs for the Maroon Tide at the George Wythe 39. Pistol set. Snap and the give to Beeman, trying to get to the edge. He's knocked back and pushed out of bounds as he tried to string it out far side. And it looks like he's going to lose 5 or 6 on the play. That was the first real negative play we've seen this half. There were only a couple in the first half of play. Galax was able to move the ball without a whole lot of resistance. And again, a big part of their 35-7 advantage. So it's 2nd down and 15 with 5:45 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Shotgun formation for Pickett. 2 out to the far side, 1 to the near. Play action fake to Beeman. Pickett steps up, fires it to Bryson, who's behind the defense, and he makes the catch at the 20, and he's tackled from behind down to the 15-yard line. Big catch for Bryson as he picks up 25 on the play. And Galax with 1st and 10 from the 15. Bryson, the H-back tight end combo, usually does more in the blocking part of the offense, but that time slipped by everyone. And if he didn't have to kind of sit down and face back to the quarterback, he would have been off to the races. 1st and 10, Pickett takes. And the give is to the running back, Beeman, who sheds one tackler, cuts it upfield, still turning his feet forward inside the 5, dives, and he's in. Touchdown, Keaton Beeman. From 15 yards away, he carried tacklers all the way into the end zone, and Beeman picks up the touchdown. And Galax now on top, 41-7, with 5:08 to play here in the 3rd quarter. So Keaton Beeman with his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season. Ortiz now on for the point after. The snap, the ball's placed down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. And it's now a 42-7 lead for the Maroon Tide with 5 minutes and 8 seconds to play in the 3rd. Galax this season has eclipsed the 50-point mark 3 different times on the year, including a 52-0 victory last week against Fort Chiswell, where they did not allow a single completed pass. Here today, it's been more dominance and a 35-point lead midway through quarter 3. Well, Mark Dixon said pregame that it was fair to call this a measuring stick test. He felt that George Wythe was a much improved team from last year, not only with greater experience, but he felt like they were a much more physical team than they were a year ago. But here today, Galax has had their way. Ortiz will kick off. His last couple have been squib kicks. We'll see what he does here with Galax up by 35. McMillan back to return along with Wells, and the kick again is short along the near sideline. It will get all the way back to McMillan, who scoops it up at the 15. Out towards the center of the field, he's up to the 20 and across the 25, dives forward, and he gets it out to about the 27, 28-yard line, which is where George Wythe will take over. 1st and 10. Clock will roll now with a 35-point lead. It will be a rolling clock. Simmons brings the offense out. The senior quarterback is in shotgun. He is 2 wide to either side of the field. The ball on the near hash, placed at the 29. Motion man across the formation. That's McMillan. The give is to Wells, running off left tackle, and he's stacked up right at the line of scrimmage and shoved back. A host of tacklers in there on the stop. And no gain on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Number 3, Ravon Wells, the ball carrier.
So Wells has had really only 1 or 2 carries today where he's had any sort of room. And being a guy that can break one at any given time, a guy who entered play averaging 6.3 yards per carry, over 110 yards per game, he hasn't gotten close to that here today. Here's the set. Snap back to Simmons. Play action fake. Has a man over the middle. The catch is made across the 50 and angling out to the far sideline as Johnson is able to drag down the receiver across the 40 and almost to the 30 as Braden Thompson makes the catch and run. And that's a big pickup as he goes from his own 29 out to about the 31-yard line. So about a 40-yard pickup. Clock moving, near 3 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Shotgun formation. 1 wide out to the far side, 2 to the near. The give is to Wells, and he looked like he had some room initially, but then ran into the back of his offensive lineman. Able to get 3 or 4 yards on 1st down, straight up the middle. With the clock moving down to about 2.5 minutes to play here in quarter number 3.
Brendan Bryson and number 66, Brenda Rojas. Number 52, Josh Brown.
Galax this season averaging 43.8 points per game. They're almost there with over a quarter left to go. They're nearing the 400-yard mark in this game as well. Here's the snap and a keeper for Simmons, and he's dragged down behind the line of scrimmage, trying to shake away from a Hawks who hung on with his right hand and ripped the jersey of Simmons down to the ground, and Hawks picks up the tackle for loss, and it's a big one. It'll bring up 3rd down and long. Looks like 3rd down and 13 on the play, as they'll give Simmons forward progress at the 35-yard line. Ball at the center of the field with 1 minute and 35 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter. Mentioned the 377 yards of total offense. This season, Galax averaging 423. Simmons in shotgun, takes the snap, dropping back to throw. Steps up, fires over the middle, has a man on the catch down to the 15-yard line. Catch is made there by Thompson again, who's been the most reliable target so far.
Number 19, Braden Thompson.
And Thompson down to the 15-yard line, and that will move the sticks on 3rd and long.
And that'll be a George Wythe 1st down.
If there's one thing that has been impressive today for George Wythe, it is the fact that despite being down 35 points, they've converted now on 8 of 16 3rd down conversions, while Galax is just 2 for 6. Tight formation, 2 wide to either side on 1st and 10 from the 14. Simmons takes the shotgun snap. The give is to Wells straight up the middle, and he pushes forward for maybe a yard or 2, not a whole lot doing. Ball was eventually ripped away by Isaac Hawks, but forward progress was stopped first. Play clock at 30, game clock at 20. We'll see if George Wythe decides to use another play here in the 3rd quarter. 42-7, Maroon Tide on top. George Wythe huddling up, play clock now at 3, and this will be the end of quarter number 3 here from Pendleton Field at George Wythe High School. 42-7, Maroon Tide on top. Will switch sides and bring you the 4th quarter of action on the other side of this break. You're listening to the Maroon Tide Sports Network. Getting you set for the fourth quarter here from George Wythe High School. Galax leading at 42-7. Ball will be placed at the 13-yard line. It's second down and 9 now for George Wythe as they move now from right to left in their dark gray home uniforms. Shotgun formation, Simmons on play action, rolling out to the near side of the field, tucks it and looks to run. He's at the 10, he's down to the 5, met at the goal line, tries to turn, knocks over the pylon. Is he in? They'll mark him just short. Marked down at the half-yard line. The pylon was knocked over, but apparently his knee was down first. And so it will be first down and goal from the 1.
Tackled by number 4, Santana.
Simmons went with play action and had a lot of running room to the wide side, the near side of the field. And he was able to turn the corner. Galax met him with a wall at the goal line, a host of tacklers, and they were just able to turn him back, and now they're looking for a goal line stand. Spread formation here on first and goal from the 1. Simmons with one back to either side. He takes, gives to Wells, running left. Turned back, but not in time. He's across the plane and in. Touchdown, Rayvon Wells.
Number 5, Jason McMillan.
Or excuse me, that's McMillan who took the carry from the backfield. Wells was beside him. They went misdirection and gave to McMillan. And McMillan, with his 7th rushing touchdown of the season, a 1-yard scamper, gives him an even 200 rushing yards on the ball game, or on the season rather. And it's now a 42-13 Galax lead. Capranos on for the point after. Ball placed down, and the right-footed kicker knocks it through. So early on into the fourth quarter, the offense caps off that drive.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget as you're leaving the stands tonight.
Second touchdown tonight. The first was a 24-yard completion through the air to McMillan. This time he gets it on the ground. As we welcome you inside the Twin County Tire and Automotive broadcast booth, Galax leading it 42-14, set to get the ball back with the clock running. Well, it will stop now as the lead now is 28. It ducks back under that 35-point mark, but for a while there at the end of the third quarter, the clock was running, and it really changed the pace to this ball game, which was a little bit on the slow side in the first half compared to last week, which was a very quick matchup, about 2.5 hours. So in any event, the Maroon Tide will get the ball back with 10:55 to play in the fourth quarter. 42-14 is their lead. Want to again thank all of our Galax football sponsors: Ant Beach Restaurants, Blue Ridge Tire and Automotive, Chick-fil-A of Mount Airy, City of Galax Tourism Center, ISOM Collision and Custom Paint, Twin County Regional Healthcare, Twin County Tire and Automotive, Bojangles, and the Von Gwynn Funeral Home. Capranos getting set to kick this one away. Peckron and Johnson standing back at the 15-yard line. It will be Johnson to make the catch at the 16, running up the middle, now angling near side across the 25 out to the 30, and he's tackled across the 35 and down at about the 37-yard line. Johnson's been big in the return game here today, and he really set the tone on the first play of the day on a kickoff return as he brought it out all the way into offensive territory. He got it all the way down to the plus 37-yard line, but right now there's a player down on the field for George Wythe. Looks like Jude Regelsberger, who's now being helped to his feet, and he pops up from a position where it didn't look good initially, lying on his back, but looks like he's okay to not only continue playing but remain in the game. He'll come off to the sideline for just a moment, but it did look like he wanted to stay out there. 42-14, Galax on top as they bring the offense back out on the field. Led by Cole Pickett. Mark Dixon has really praised the development of Pickett this season, how he's taken care of the football, understands the entire playbook as Peckron gets the carry running left, and he's met behind the line of scrimmage and dropped for a loss. Coming up to make the play was Nick Martin, the leading tackler, the junior from the middle linebacker position. He jutted through the middle of the defense and was able to meet Packron in the backfield. And that will bring up 2nd down and 12. Packron this season has been used both in the running game and in the receiving game. And again, with a productive day from Denver Brown, it looks like he's going to get the majority of this 4th quarter off. Packron, the tailback, he bobbled it on the exchange, but he maintains possession running near side across the 35, and he's trying to get it out to the 40-yard line. Stopped at about the 39. It's a pickup of 4. And it will set up 3rd down and 8 with just under 10 minutes to play here in the 4th quarter. Galax on the road, looking to improve to 6-1 this season, 2-0 in conference play, and win their 2nd straight following the bye. They're certainly well on their way, up 42-14. Pistol set here for Pickett. Packron behind him. The turn, and it's a play-action fake. Pickett rolling far sideline. He's going to take off and run. Up across midfield, bounces off a tackler, now has room to run far side. 1st down and more across the 40 and down to about the 30-yard line. A flag does come in, and it might be an illegal block downfield, but for now, Pickett has a big 1st down and a gain of about 25.
Flag on the play.
We'll check the penalty. It came in near a blocking wide receiver at the tail end of that run. And it looks like it will likely go against Galax. Here's the referee's call. So it's a holding against Galax, but the play did result in a 1st down. So they'll spot the ball at the George Wythe 44-yard line. So about 10 yards from the end of the play. Galax marching left to right, 9:08 to play, 4th quarter. Pistol set. Ball in the far hash. Here's the give to Packron. Running to his left, breaks out of a tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Across the 40, down about the 35-yard line. That's near the 1st down marker. Had to get to the 34, and it looks like he's awfully close. Ball is inside the 35, and it looks like they might have a measurement. But it's not needed. The referee peers down the line and signals 1st down. So a 10-yard scamper from Packron here on 1st down, and Galax moves the chains. Ball spotted on the far hash at the 34-yard line. Another pistol set. One wide out to the near side, bunch formation. Play clock at 4 as Pickett takes, and he gives to Packron up the middle, weaving out of traffic. And up across the 30 and down to about the 27-yard line. Packron starting to show his slipperiness out of the backfield as Rayvon Wells came up to make the stop. Looks like a gain of about 6 or 7. It will be 2nd down and 3. Mark Dixon last week told me that while this year's roster might be a little bit smaller than in years past, there's not a guy on this roster that he's not confident in playing. And you're seeing that here with Packron, the 2nd back coming in and really having some success running the ball as he gets the call here again up the middle. And it turns his feet forward for a 1st down to about the 23-yard line. So Packron has gotten 4 straight carries now, and he's able to move the sticks. And with 7:50 to play, Galax marching from left to right, leading at 42-14. Pickett and company turn towards the sideline. As they get the play call, it's a pistol set. Now Packron moves to the left of Cole Pickett in shotgun. He gets the call, bouncing it out wide, looking for some running room, splits a pair of tacklers, and gets it down to about the 15-yard line. Another good run for Packron, who's now up to about 35 yards rushing today, depending on the spot. And it looks like they will spot it right at the 16-yard line, where it will bring up 2nd down and 5. Just over 7 minutes to play here in the 4th quarter. Galax looking to move to 6-1 on the season, 2-0 in conference. As Packron gets the call straight up the middle, pushing his way forward. He's met by a host of tacklers and stopped shy of the first down marker after a gain of 1 or 2.
Again by number 10, Leighton Fowler. Number 55,
Galax will wrap up the regular season with a couple of games. Their final home game is next Friday against Auburn. And then they conclude the regular season on the road against Grayson County on November the 8th. 3rd down and 4, ball on the far hash. Shotgun formation, Pickett takes, and the give is to Peckron. Bouncing off a tackler and trying to make his way towards the first down, but he's going to be short. As he tried to bounce off an offensive lineman and cut up field. Got a minimal gain. It looks like it's going to be 4th and 3. They'll call it 4th and 4, so we just got back to the line of scrimmage. And it looks like Galax is going to now attempt a field goal. Ball at the 15-yard line. It will be a 32-yard attempt for Eduardo Ortiz. He's 3 for 4 in the season. Here's the spot. The ball is placed down. The kick is up, and the kick is good. And from 32 yards, Ortiz drills it. And that's his longest field goal made on the season. His previous 3 makes were all within the 20 to 29-yard range. Last week missed from 37, and this time from 32 makes it, and it would have been good from 42. High and straight through from Ortiz. And Galax extends their lead to 45 to 14 with 5:40 to play in the 4th quarter. They've now eclipsed their average points per game. Galax also now up to 435 yards of total offense, also better than their season average. So Ortiz will now kick off. Again, he's been squibbing it a lot as of late. And he will again. This one is picked up by an up man along the far sideline and taken across the 40, and he's out to about the 43, 44-yard line as Leighton Fowler is there on the return once again. That's his 3rd return. It's almost like they're targeting him in that up man position. So with 5:34 to play, it's a 45 to 14 lead for the Maroon Tide. Simmons in the offense back on the field. 1st down and 10 from the far hash. Shotgun formation, a back to either side, and the give is to McMillan. He's stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. Brenda Rojas in on the tackle. And so McMillan, who got the call on the touchdown run on their last drive, this time stuffed right behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of 2 on the play. They'll call it 2nd and a long 11. This front 4 for Galax has been so impressive here tonight. And again, the return today of Colby Barnes cannot be understated, the junior linebacker. Galax showing blitz. Here's the take and the give up the middle. McMillan again, just a yard or 2. Actually, this time it's Wells back in there. And he gets it back across the line of scrimmage and out to about the 45-yard line. They'll call it 3 on the game. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 8. 4:40 to play in the ball game. 45-14, Galax on top. The Maroons' 5-game winning streak is in some serious jeopardy here tonight. They've also not lost at home this year. Simmons today throwing his first interception. The running game never really got going as Simmons goes play action here under heavy pressure, backpedaling, and he's going to be wrestled down for a sack. All the way back to the 30-yard line, Isaac Hawks gets to him, and Hawks with his 3rd sack of the night. A big loss on 3rd down. It's a loss of 14. And that'll bring up 4th down and 17. And George Wythe will punt. Simmons under heavy pressure, just kept backpedaling and backpedaling. And these big front 4 are also pretty quick on their feet. And Simmons unable to escape the grasp of Isaac Hawks, who wrestled him to his back. Simmons gets the punt away, high end over end towards the middle of the field. Calling for a fair catch is Johnson, and he'll make it with his heels on his own 30-yard line. So the Galax offense will come back out with 3 minutes and 25 seconds to play in the fourth quarter. And it's a 45-14 Galax advantage. Isaac Thompson has now checked in the backfield. For a lot of the second half, we saw Tristan Peckron as the running back. So now it's the third stringer Thompson, a 5'8", 135-pound sophomore who's going to get some touches offensively. Here's the snap, and the give is to Thompson with some room to run inside left tackle. And he's tripped up across the 35-yard line. That's a gain of about 5 or 6.
Number 10, Leighton Fowler.
So a gain of 5 officially on first down for Thompson, who this season has rushed for 147 yards, including a touchdown. That was his 23rd carry of the year. One wide to either side. The give is to Thompson again. Good running room up the middle. First down and more, up to the 45 and out to about the 47-yard line. That's a 12-yard pickup and enough to move the chains on second down.
Tackled by number 11, Yanni Capranos. Number 12, Luke Jolly. Number 22, Tyler Jonas.
So Galax certainly not trying to run up the score, just ground and pound here the last quarter or so. But they've still had some success offensively. They've only had 1 or 2 negative plays this entire second half. And they haven't really thrown the ball a whole lot. Again, 2 up men, 1 wide to either side. And again, the give is to Thompson, running inside right tackle, straight up the middle now across midfield, and out just shy of the 45-yard line. That'll be a gain of 7. And Thompson continues to find some good running room in between the tackles.
Number 11, Yanni Capranos. Number 10, Leighton
Brenda Rojas will now check in among the offensive line, as will Josh Brown. Lee Peoples and Daniel McKinney will get the rest of the ball game to rest. Under 2 minutes to play. Thompson, again, the tailback to the right of Pickett in shotgun. Here's the snap and the give to Thompson straight up the middle. And he's met by a tackler right at the first down marker, shoved backwards. And it looks like he's going to be about a half a yard short, bringing up third down. 1 minute, 30 seconds to play here in quarter number 4. It's been all Galax tonight. They got out to a 14-0 lead early, and they've piled on since. 14 in the first quarter, 14 in the second, 14 in the third. And Ortiz has made a field goal to extend it here in the fourth. The give is to Thompson again, weaving to his right, hops over an offensive lineman. Actually, that was Sawyers, his wide receiver, coming down to offer a block, and he hopped over him, but it was a minimal pickup. And that brings up fourth down as he stopped just shy of the first down marker. He tried to bounce it out wide to the near side, and his hurdle actually slowed him down. Looks like Galax will go for it here on fourth down. Game clock at 40, play clock at 19. As Pickett and company turn towards the sideline. It was a 14-7 game after one. A 28-7 game at halftime as Thompson gets the call on the option, has the first down, and he's stacked up and dropped at about the 40, down to the 39-yard line. And that might be the final play today. Galax, little resistance offensively. And in their 2 games in conference play so far this season, they've combined to score a total of 92 points. 97 points, I should say. 52 last week in a win against Fort Chiswell, and it's 45-14, a victory for the Maroon Tide here today. A commanding wire-to-wire win over another 5-1 team in George Wythe. Clock at zeros, teams shaking hands at midfield in what was a commanding victory once again as Galax goes on the road and has little trouble out to a 2-0 start in conference play and a 6-1 overall record here on the season. We'll take a timeout, be back to tell you more about this one and tie a bow on a 45-14 victory with the post-game show coming up next on the Maroon Tide Sports Network. Matt Present back with you from George Wythe High School. The final score here tonight, Galax 45 and George Wythe 14. As we welcome you inside the Twin County Tire and Automotive broadcast booth, Galax got up early. They led 14-0. They never trailed in this game, allowing just 2 touchdowns on the night in a commanding performance on the road to run their record to 6-1 on the season and 2-0 in conference play. Time to take a look at some of the individual numbers here tonight. Galax offensively led by quarterback Cole Pickett, who only had to throw the ball 18 times. He was 8 of 18 for 202 yards, 2 touchdowns.